I'm Dana Austin, and this is Next Level Awareness.
Hey, everybody, I'm Dana Austin, and you're listening to the Next Level Awareness podcast, where we have conversations on a wide range of topics in order to pass on knowledge to others that will hopefully expand your mind into areas that maybe you didn't even know existed before. Today, I'm talking to Bonnie Piles, who's one of the owners of Wild West Air and Heating. And they have a really interesting story that I think you'll find just amazing. So, welcome, Bonnie. Tell me a little bit about your company and how you guys got started in heating and air in Arizona. I mean, it's definitely
It's
a
important.
necessary kind of business, right?
It's super busy. We started actually, my husband's been in HVAC for about 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we started actually with a remodeling company. And then he just, HVAC is his heart. Like that's what he loves to do. So we switched just solely into HVAC now. Um, and that's been a big change for us going from all of that back to just solely HVAC. This is our second season doing just HVAC.
Okay.
So it's been an adjustment, but it's been a good adjustment. So
Did he like go to school for it or did he kind of learn on the job?
completely hands-on. He had a gentleman take him under his wing back, well, 20 years ago. And he learned hands-on in the field, and that's just how he has taught everyone. He actually taught my son when he turned 16. He started working for us full time and taught him hands-on.
Cool.
So that's just
That's
how it
really
goes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then making the move. So what was the thing that prompted it? Like, was it just because he just absolutely loves it a lot more than what he was doing otherwise? Because you were doing remodeling, or and then just it more focus. Like, is that what it was?
It was, that's what he knows. He can do it without needing my help, I should say. And so when I got sick, it was something that he could do on his own when I wasn't there, um,
Okay.
to be able to kind of run the business and the
Hmm.
back end and do all of that. He was able to, and he knew it and he loves it. And he was comfortable with that without, you know, needing my help. So we were able to kind of just transform into that and keep going, I should
Okay.
say.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I mean, we were kind of talking a little bit before about, it is June, mid-June right now. And so it's about 100 degrees every day so far, I think.
Yep, yep.
So definitely your busy time. Like what would you say your busy period is? I know this is going to be a weird question and it may be all the time, but like, is it like May through October?
Yeah, just about. We middle of April is when it really starts. It goes April till September, October for us. And then we slow down and we kind of transition out of HVAC completely at that point.
Okay. So what do you do at that point?
That we do Christmas lights.
Oh,
That's what
cool.
we do. We switch over and we do solely Christmas lights from October through February.
Okay.
Uh, and that is, I mean, that goes hand in hand kind of with the nonprofit stuff. That's something else for them to learn. So that's why
Right.
we is it's just another trade and another way for them to learn business style type stuff.
Okay. That's cool. So you mentioned the nonprofit. Let's talk about that. You were telling me that you just got your paperwork back to start your nonprofit and you've so what is the part of your business that is the nonprofit? Like what do you guys do? Um, because that to me it's like it's really interesting. That's the most, that's the coolest thing.
Thank you. I'm excited about it. So we take former foster kids that have aged out of the system and give them hands-on training. Currently, it's through with HVAC, and we have a pest control company that is willing to partner with us. I just met with a couple other companies that are interested in taking on apprentices in different trades. So we'll have a lot of options for the kids. The one we physically offer is to work for our HVAC company and have that hands-on training. And
Okay.
then in the off season, it will be the Christmas lights, but it's teaching them kind of how to run their own business to make that side money through Christmas light season and
Okay.
during the off season because HVAC can be all year, but in Arizona, it doesn't get that cold.
Yeah, and it is nice to have other options too, because starting with one trade and like, like you said earlier, I mean, you guys did remodels and stuff. So sometimes you have there's a tendency to you start one place and then you start learning more stuff and then you find the thing that you really love doing and then try to stick with that. But that's really cool. So you were saying that you are going to be teaching them in the classroom and then they'll go out in the field and they'll be able to earn money while they're learning.
Yep, they will learn. They'll be actual employees of our company as an apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
The nonprofit will help subsidize that so that their living expenses and food and things like that that they need can be accommodated as well. But they will have hands-on training in the field between my husband and my son, who we're a very small family owned, so it's just us right now. So they'll train with them, and then in the classroom they'll kind of get more of like budgeting. HVAC can be very lucrative and people need to understand how to financially work with that and hopefully help them with that end of it as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we should talk because I can totally come in and give them financial education as a part of your thing. So yeah, we'll have to talk about that more because that's what I do for people.
Okay.
So so how I'm really interested in how did you there's always a like a light bulb moment, I think, where like the idea for this nonprofit, where did that come from? I mean, tell me about that.
Okay. So when I got sick, it was more of like oh, okay, what are my kids gonna do if I don't make it through this? What training do they have? What option do they have as a backup, as anything? And I just kind of realized like, oh, nothing. My son did because he went out and got hands-on training with my husband, and my husband was able to guarantee that even if he doesn't want to do HVAC forever, he will always have that training. He will always have that knowledge.
Yeah.
And I have 4 children. So I was like, what are the others going to do if I'm not here? And so that kind of just started the process of like, wait, there are so many kids that can't afford to go to school, can't afford, nobody wants student loan debt. I don't. I'm still paying mine. Okay. It sucks. Yeah. I don't know. So it was like, we could help all these kids get this training, and it's a lucrative career. You can run your own business or you can work for people and make a lot of money, and they just need that training. So
yeah, so it sounds like you're helping create an opportunity to get these kids educated in something that even if that's not what they really want to do down the line, they have something they can always fall back on. And so I know a lot of plumbers and electricians and stuff like that, and we always transition as we grow and start realizing, okay, well, I really like I didn't start out as a financial advisor. I started out in the post office. Like my background is I started at the post office when I was 19. I had no idea what I wanted to do for a living, but I had a good job. And so I had something that was paying my bills, and I didn't necessarily like it all the time. I grew to like it after a while when I realized, a lot of things about life. But yeah, I mean, it's like I've met so many people over the years where you start with one thing and then you kind of evolve into something else. And I've always been entrepreneurial. So I wound up starting an Etsy shop and teaching myself how to do that. So it's like there's a lot of things that I could do to make money. And I think that's the thing that, a lot of people miss, especially when they are young and talked into going to college for one thing. And then, so many people don't even use the degrees that they have because they're in a completely different field. And just having the degree alone kind of helped them get a job doing something, but not necessarily what they envisioned as their life goal, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. So I love that, you're equipping these kids with actual skills that they can use to go out and do anything while they're at least figuring out what else they want to do.
And that's the goal, is to also have multiple trades, be able for them to kind of come in and experience different options, and still might not be anything they want to do, but they have that experience, and then they can pick one that they want to get fully trained in.
Yeah.
And hopefully that will there's always something to fall back on. I mean, even during COVID, when everything shut down, we still were working on people's HVAC units.
Yeah.
We still had jobs. We still, so it's a way for them to have, no matter what kind of happens, something to fall back on to support themselves and potentially a family.
Yeah. Yeah, I love
So
it. And it's good money. I mean, it sounds like it's pretty good money. And so I think people miss, I love Micro. I'm sure being in a trade, you probably know who Micro is, and the dirty jobs guy.
right.
And he it's like one of his missions, and not only just doing the dirty jobs show, but just he loves giving people scholarships, and he's so focused on people learning trades now, because there's so many people. There's a big huge gap in our society of people who they don't know how to do stuff, because we were all sent to college to get degrees. And so I think a lot of people look down on people who do plumbing and electrician stuff. I mean, I think electricians maybe not, but like a lot of those trades, it's I think people miss how much money you can actually make doing that.
And how smart, and you do have to be smart to do it. It's not something to look down on. This is
Right.
And especially in HVAC, you have to have so much knowledge, so
Yeah.
much knowledge. It's electrical, it's a little bit of everything. Certifications for chemicals that are EPA watch. There's a lot of knowledge that has to be there, and an education you have to have. And people, I don't think, see that in the trade world as much.
Yeah.
When they look at trades, they don't realize how much it really takes to be able to do everything that they do.
Yeah.
In all trades, not just HVAC. They are all extremely educated, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, just because somebody doesn't sit on a computer all day doesn't mean that they're not educated. And just because, I mean, it's a dirty job, right? Let's face it. Like, I've been up in my own attic changing the filters in my system, because they're actually fairly easy to do. But I mean, I try to time it so that I'm changing those filters in January and not July, because it's so hot up there. And you just drip sweat if you're up there for longer than like 5 seconds. So, and not to mention, all the insulation and everything up there is just disgusting. So, I mean, just because somebody has a dirty job doesn't mean that, like, that they're smart. I mean, and that, I think, honestly, the dirtier the job, sometimes the more money you make, and you just got to be okay with, like, taking a shower. Who cares? It all washes off at the end of the day.
Yep. It really does. It's important work. It is important work from any aspect. So
yeah. Well, I need to survive. And I mean, I worked outside for a lot of years, and the last thing I want to do is come home to a house that doesn't have air conditioning. Yeah. So, and I think we've all experienced those problems over the years. So, what do you think sets you guys apart, aside from your nonprofit goals? What do you think sets you guys apart from other HVAC companies out there?
We follow a very strong moral compass. I turn down jobs that I don't agree with. We do not just take it for the money whatsoever. If it's not right, it's not right. Mm-hmm. That's a hard thing to do, because money's important, but also, like, we're not in it to do just for that. So we definitely follow. My husband is very, very set in what is right and what is morally right, and that's what we do. So our pricing is competitive. We're not here, we have people that tell us our install rates are half of what they're getting from larger companies, that's good to know. We're not here to rip anybody off or do anything like that. So that's important for us. And it's important for us to teach the kids that, yeah, you can charge this much, but this is the right way to do it.
Yeah.
And to be able to sleep at night.
Right. Are you guys thinking about expanding? I mean, you're going to be teaching kids. So do you think eventually these kids will all work for your company directly? Or is your goal to kind of, like, teach them and set them free? Or, what's that look like?
My goal is to teach them and set them free. They will definitely be able to stay if they want to. My goal is not to become some huge, huge company. I want to be able to keep it small and train these kids. And that's what's in my heart. My husband might not agree with that. He's like higher tech. So hopefully maybe a couple of kids will stick around and help us train kids and get to that point. But I'm hoping to really train and let them go and even help them set up their own businesses. There is plenty of work for all of us.
Yeah.
If it's something where they want help setting up their own business and getting their own licensing and their own things, I'm hopeful that we can guide them on that.
That's awesome, because I feel like in the business world, everyone is so concerned with the competition that they really try not to teach people stuff like that, because they don't want them going out on their own and being the competition. Right. And, like you said, especially with the HVAC, I mean, how many people do we have moving here every day, and all the homes being built? There is enough work to go around for everyone. And, if you're helping these people, first of all, I really love that you said, you want to help them understand the business aspect of it, because as a business owner, as someone who works with small businesses, one of my favorite books, and I think I have mentioned this on almost all of my podcast episodes, so bear with me for anybody who's already listened. I love the E-Myth, and it's by Michael Gerber, and he talks about, it's the entrepreneurial myth. And so many people get started in business, similar to HVAC and plumbing and stuff like that. It's like the kind of the normal course for one of these kids would be to learn everything they can from you, and then go, I think I can charge more, or I can make more on my own if I go just out on my own and start doing this. And a lot of business owners don't actually get business training before they go start their business. And so then they start learning. And so I think I want to say 75 to 80% of businesses fail because they just don't have the business mindset. And so the fact that you're actually willing to train people and help them understand business so that they can go off and do their own thing and do it right and make money, because the last thing you want is to turn somebody loose and go, okay, yeah, go open your own business. We're supportive of that, but then not give them any other knowledge. And then they fall on their face and fail and have to, and like, that's not what we want for people.
And I'm not training these kids so they can fail. The goal is to make them successful citizens. Yeah. And if that, competition's competition. I'm going to have it whether it's them or someone else.
Yeah.
So I would much rather know that I helped someone have a lifelong career and potential business that they're successful in and doing it correctly and legally.
Yeah.
You can always do it not the right way.
Oh, yeah. I think in any industry, you've got people out there that are doing shady stuff and cutting corners and charging people for things that they're not doing. And, and it's hard to know who to trust. And I think that's where, having the referrals come in. And, maybe if you guys do stay a small company, you're going to need other people in other companies that you've trained. You trained them well. So that even gives you the ability to refer out business to those people, because that you train them and that they understand your work ethic and all that stuff and your business philosophy, if that transfers over. I mean, that's amazing, because the only thing we can ask for is for more people in business to have a good, first of all, good morals and ethics and a good business philosophy. And then, just, it makes everyone better. It makes the whole industry better, as a whole. And that's what, I mean, my partners and I do the same thing. We feel like some days it's fighting a battle between the people who are out there. Just because they got a license doesn't mean anything, so, so, there's days where we feel it's like good versus evil and we're the good guys, and we're just, trying to correct all of these wrongs that we see. And so having that strong ethical, I don't even know what to call it, but just it's very important to be able to keep your eye on that ball, because it's so easy for people to just go, well, I just want the money. Yep.
Yep.
And they're, if you're desperate or you're, just focused solely on how much can I make off of this, it's just not the right, it's just, you actually wind up making more money if you just keep doing the right things in the
Yep.
long run. Right. So
Good karma.
what?
Good karma.
Oh yeah, for
Keep
sure.
doing right and it'll come. And that's kind of what we strive for is it's small and it's not super busy. I mean, we are busy, but we're not a huge company,
Yeah.
and we're okay with that because we know we're doing it right and we know we're treating our customers fair and they're getting good warranties and they're getting the things they need from us that are ethically correct. And that is what I'm hoping to be able to instill into these kids is that slow and steady, doing it right, morally, ethically, everything will get you that in the long run.
Yeah. And it opens up other doors for you.
Yes.
When you meet someone, the interesting thing for me is I've met so many people in my business that are in other businesses, and whether or not we have the same goals or we're even meeting for a purpose it doesn't have anything to do with me necessarily, but when you meet someone and they can tell that you're an honest person, or that you understand what you're doing, and you do what you say you're going to do, like, there's just, having integrity is huge. And so I think that when you meet people, that it opens other doors for you that maybe you didn't even know you were looking for. So
Right.
and I mean, this whole idea of your nonprofit is just, I love it. Like,
Thank you.
I really do. I love it. And I love, when people start thinking of, it's way bigger than just us. It's way bigger than just ourselves, and besides, we want to have a good income. Yes. But we want to also help other people do the same thing. So,
Right.
um, that's I think those are the people that I want to, surround myself with.
Right. Right.
Because, I think it's that the 5 people that you spend the most time with, you're at the average of those 5 people, whether it's income or, just it's usually, I think, income wise, like, you're the average of those 5 people. And so if you spend your time in the gutter, you're going to probably be like that in the gutter, right? But if you start elevating the people that you surround yourself with,
Mhm.
you don't want to bring them down, but you want to rise to that level. And
Right.
so I think that's awesome. And I think that all these kids that you guys are helping are going to definitely be able to rise to that level. And I mean, there's just not a lot of people out there who go, let's help kids who've aged out of the system, you know? I mean, there's some, but it just, I feel like there's a lot of people who might write them off,
Right.
and say, oh, well, they're in that school. They must not be a good kid. And that doesn't
Right.
necessarily mean anything,
Not
you
at all.
know?
They were dealt a hand and they played it for what they could then. And now we're hoping to give them another one. And
Yeah.
that's all we can do. And they have to choose to want it just as much as I want it for them. I
Right.
can't force it. That'll probably be my hard part is
Yeah.
the ones that don't want it. I think
Yeah.
that'll be like, no, just let me help you. But I know there will be a lot of them that will be able to succeed and hopefully this will be like completely life changing for them.
Yeah. So how do they get into the program? I mean, have you gotten started with this yet? Or have you just kind of gotten your paperwork done and
So we start interviewing kids next week
okay.
for openings. There's things like they have to be EPA certified. They don't have to. We do that for them, but with that clear backgrounds, things like that. So it's kind of a little bit of a process to make sure that we're not training kids that can't even work for other
Oh
companies,
yeah. Yeah.
right? Or get a license or anything.
Right.
So it'll be working with them. I've reached out to a lady at Canyon State
Mhm.
in Queen Creek. That's there's boys there, so see if they're interested. And then I have a few people at DCS that I've been working with,
Okay.
talking to, because they're letting them know as they age out, this
Mhm.
is an option.
Okay.
So I'm hoping we'll have a couple kids starting next week.
That's awesome.
So it's donation determines the amount of kids I can take at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
I could be able to help them survive. So that will
Right.
be how that works.
So survival, you said something earlier, I think when we were talking before, about like if they live at, is it, what did you say, Canyon State? They have some
I'm
of them
not sure if Canyon State does it for sure. I know there are certain places that do have the subsidized housing for them when they're in a work program.
have. Okay.
So I am trying to work with those types of places as well because, if we're not having to help afford those kinds of needs, we can take in more kids as well. So
Yeah.
we're hopeful that we can kind of get in with multiple different agencies to bring kids that need different level of help.
Yeah. And I feel like I was just recently talking to someone who maybe I can connect you with. I have to figure out who that was though, because I'm talking to so many people all the time in different areas. So it's kind of funny, but I love connecting people when there's like common goals and stuff. So if I do, I'm gonna rack my brain because I'm just like, I know for sure there was someone. But yeah, I just it I don't know. I can't even say it enough. I just really love what you guys are doing. And I hope that you guys get a ton of donations. Where can people donate?
On our website, it's from fosteredtotradesheroes.org.
Okay.
And they can make a monthly donation. There's a monthly setup. There's a one-time donation, and then there are donations for the actual certifications.
Okay.
And we also have a wish list on Walmart for tools and gauges and things like that they need out in the field that you can
Okay.
Google our nonprofit through, or not Google, through Walmart. You can find the registry, and there's all those in there as well.
That's awesome. And then is there a way maybe for people to, if they know someone, to kind of recommend someone for your, I don't even know what it's called, for your course,
Yeah.
training program? That's what it is. It's
Training.
Friday. It's been a long day already.
You know, it's Friday, yeah, on our website, they can submit through the website and that'll come directly to me so that I can reach out. So
Okay.
we're trying to stay between 18 and 21. So anyone who has been in the system,
Mhm.
and so they don't have to be directly out of the system, just as long as they're coachable,
Yes. Coachable. Yes.
And want it as bad as we want it for them
Yeah.
and are willing to put in the work, then
Mhm.
they are more than welcome to apply.
Okay. So, are you on Facebook?
I am on Facebook. The nonprofit has a Facebook. The air conditioning company has a Facebook.
Okay.
So either way, they're all
So
me.
Wild West Air and Heating for the air conditioning company if you need your AC checked or fixed, right? Do you guys do emergency calls?
We do 24/7.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. My favorite.
This time of year, I bet you guys never sleep.
Some days.
And then do you guys do weekend calls too?
We do. Yep. 24/7. He's out. He goes to all of them. He loves it. So
Wow. And then the Facebook page for it's remind me again for the nonprofit.
Oh, from Foster to Trades Heroes.
Fostered to Trades Heroes. Okay. And so that's where they can find on Facebook the information for that. And you probably have a link to your website on there then, huh?
Yep. So there's
Okay.
links. All that good stuff should be up there. So
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today. I've had so much fun with this business podcast stuff, this series. It's just been amazing. For everyone out there listening, I hope that you can go and donate and help these guys with their nonprofit goals because it's such a good thing for kids. It's just amazing to me. I can't say it enough. And for anyone else out there, definitely subscribe to the Next Level Awareness podcast so you can hear more about what we've got going on in the area. And if you would like to be a guest on the podcast, email me at nextlevelawarenesspodcast@gmail.com. Have a good one, guys.
thank you.